Nia Long is speaking up, talking about that scandalous affair her fiance, the then Celtics coach, and an employee had. And she's talking really not about him and the harm that was done by him, but what about the team who claimed they needed to speak up to protect women, but they didn't protect her or her mental health or her family or her child. Here's what Nia Long is saying today, finally, about the affair involving her ex-fiance and how it affected her personally and professionally. The actress's fiance and Boston Celtics coach, Ime Udoka, exposed for having a secret affair with the team's service manager, Kathleen Nimmo Lynch, in September. Remember, the team didn't name her, other people did. Lynch is a 34-year-old married mother of 3, devout Mormon. She also allegedly organized all of Udoka's travel arrangements, including trips when Nia Long would travel on the road and to Boston for games. Long and Udoka dating in 2009, engaged by 2015. For the affair, the disgraced coach received a year-long suspension for this NBA season. When Long found out about the situation, she ended up walking off set for the first time in her 36-year career. She's had just an extraordinary career at the highest level. It broke my heart to have to do it because that's not who I am, but I knew that I needed to do it because I didn't feel good in my belly. It felt like not only was I supported by my fellow castmate who was Black and who had a clear understanding of what I felt strongly about, but there was also this sense that the business I have to deal with at home is more important to me than teaching a white director, producer how to tell a Black story. Wow. Long calling out the Celtics for their revealing of a private matter. I think the most heartbreaking thing about all of this was seeing my son's face when the Boston Celtics organization decided to make a very private situation public, says Long, who took her son out of school when the news broke. It was devastating, and it still is. He still has moments where it's not easy for him. If you're in the business of protecting women, I'm sorry, no one from the Celtics organization even called to see if I'm okay, to see if my children are okay. It's very disappointing. Nia Long telling the Hollywood Reporter. Since the breakup, Long has relocated from Boston to Los Angeles, where she shares a home with her eldest son. Now, a lot of people were so captivated, Ray, by the scandal and the way the Celtics handled. You remember what they did? They said they just had to come out, and they said certain things. They were cryptic about other things, but I still don't know. We know more about what he did, and let's be clear here. Okay, he's not a hero here. He's someone who has some issues that needs to be dealt with. The predatory, perhaps, bad judgment, got it. But isn't Nia Long right? Why did the Celtics go about it this way? They don't exactly have the best past, storied past when it comes to Black people, the organization. Some, Bill Russell, but in the way they dealt with this, Boston, I guess, the city at large.
Yeah, it feels like they had more of an interest in protecting the woman who he had the affair with than they did protecting the woman who was really the victim of the situation, which is Nia Long. And the fact that they never reached out to her, like she said, I mean, I think that's just more evidence to that fact. But I don't really understand a reason why it was important to go public with this in a way that, even like you said, it was cryptic, but it was cryptic in a way where you could gather the facts, and that's how she felt the effects of it, and how her son felt the effects of it. And I think that these stories, oftentimes will say that cheaters, are embarrassing their wives, they're embarrassing their girls, and it is embarrassing because we, as a society, focus more on, how are they going to react to being cheated on than the fact that the cheating happened in the first place.
Yeah, wow, I think you're so right, because at the end of the day, you can't just retrain society at large, but I don't hear any allegations that Nia Long cheated on her fiance, okay? Or had someone she was cheating with arranging his travel or inside their bubble. So that's on him. The Celtics and the way they handled this, again, in protecting the woman, their play is that this was a power issue. Here's a celebrity coach. I don't know what the hierarchy is or what department, but do you buy that?
I think that it can be really easy to, feel that dynamic when you are underneath somebody. Maybe that's the wrong term of phrase used right now. But as far as the hierarchy goes, when you are below someone on the in that workplace hierarchy, it can be really easy to feel pressured by them. So that is one thing. It doesn't really, to me, change the fact that like protecting the person who is essentially protecting the cheater more so than protecting the spouse who's been cheated on is really what happened in this case. But it's very possible that there was a power dynamic at play. And but if you're going to protect women, protect all women, and that includes the spouse in this case, and they didn't.
Do you think race has anything to do with it? Because in talking, and I was a sports journalist for years. I've been on an NBA sideline, well, not a sideline, but an NFL sideline as well. And it dawned on me that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, okay? Players sleeping with personnel, and I'm not excusing any of it, okay? Married people getting it on. It just seemed like when I first heard this, and I'm ashamed to even admit it, it's like, what's the headline here? Because this is what happens all the time, okay? In these around the league. Do you think race played a part in the way they handled it?
I think it absolutely did, and you can sort of see that reflected in the way that it was discussed by media outlets. They would always highlight that the woman who he cheated on Nia Long with was younger, that she was a Mormon, a devout Mormon, which no, she's not. I don't think that getting in affairs with married people is a tenet of Mormonism, but and they would try to like play to that fact when they did discuss her after her identity was revealed, that that this is a younger woman who was manipulated by this man, and but nothing to the fact that he destroyed this relationship, this over decade long relationship, a woman he has a child with, and destroyed his family. That was never highlighted. It was always this innocent woman who was manipulated by her boss and sort of helpless in the situation, which I don't know all of the facts. So that could be the case, but the way that they wrote about her versus the way they did or didn't write about Nia Long, I think it does sort of show the racial dynamics there.
Yeah, when my friend first sent me a blurb on this, and I wrote something snarky back like, Nia Long should stop talking about it. She asked for her privacy. And then I thought better of it. I was just being snarky and I was hungry. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was hungry. Because the truth is the black woman is disregarded, disrespected, an afterthought, if that, and is expected to be strong, hold it down, and she'll be all right. But like you said, the sweet, fair-skinned Mormon who needs protection. This was so egregious that he's got to take a long seat for a year. This just cannot, we've got to protect really the community. It felt like the Celtics were saying, we got to protect the community from this predator. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I'll just say that it really plays this idea of a black superwoman, which we talked about the infidelity going on at Good Morning America 3. He referred to his wife that he cheated on as the black superwoman. And it's this pressure, this expectation that black women have to shoulder all of these burdens and continue to put on a happy face in public and take it all in stride. It's just unfair. It's just unfair.
It's a whole lot, navigating blackness in America, navigating being a black parent in America.